It's the last day of October, but before the month is over, I wanted to remind you that October is Shocktober. As I've told you many times before, it is an initiative of the Cardiac Arrest Survival Foundation. Put simply, it's Defibrillator Awareness Month. Now, defibrillator is a machine that can shock a heart back into a normal rhythm in the event of sudden cardiac arrest. Sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of unexpected death in Western society. It can happen to anyone, anywhere, and at any time. Early defibrillation is the only chance for victims of sudden cardiac arrest. Too late for an ambulance. The aim of Shocktober is to get more workplaces to install such machines. We've got one at 2GB. And to get more people trained to use them. There's a particular focus this year on schools, with the aim of teaching 1 million students how to save lives. There's a website with all the details, which is shock, S-H-O-C, S-H-O-C, no K, shocktober.org.au. Dr. Donald Dingsdag is the chair and director of the Cardiac Arrest Survival Foundation. He's a senior lecturer at the University of Western Sydney and someone who's experienced firsthand the devastating impact that sudden cardiac arrest can have. And I'm also going to speak to a lady whose 24-year-old daughter was saved by a defibrillator. Let's go to the doctor first. Dr. Donald, good morning.
Good morning, Alan.
I'm sorry that your wife died at home from a sudden cardiac arrest.
She did, Alan, some 27 years ago. She was only 33 years of age, and just prior had given birth to 2 children, and to all intents and purposes she was a healthy, vibrant young woman.
So that's why you've described this cardiac arrest as the silent killer.
Yes, that's correct. In her case, she suffered the arrest during her sleep in the middle of the night, and she just didn't wake up in the morning.
Dear. But, goodness me, 32 years of age.
33.
33. You say a cardiac arrest is treatable if defibrillation is done in time, but research shows about 3/4 of sudden cardiac arrests happen away from hospitals, hence the defibrillator.
That's right, Alan. This is the issue because you're probably aware that call-out times for ambulances are far longer than the 10-minute window that a person who suffers a cardiac arrest has to be defibrillated.
So what's involved in learning how to use them? They're very simple, aren't they?
They are very simple. Anyone can use them. In fact...
and the instructions are there anyway, aren't they?
The instructions are there. When the lid of the defibrillator is open, there's a visual display of the instructions, but they're also voiced instructions.
Yeah. So basically you're just concerned about distribution, aren't you? How widely distributed are these?
Not widely enough.
No.
In fact, the issue is in Australia we don't know how many defibrillators there are, nor do we know if they're operable.
Yes, and you're saying they should be in private places, workplaces. Do many businesses, you don't know, how many businesses have them? We've got one at 2GB.
I know you do, and we're very grateful that you do. And also the fact that you every year keep on supporting us. We must. Grateful.
We must. But, I mean, sometimes there's a problem, isn't there, with flat batteries or poor maintenance and so on. Or in the public place, I suppose, with vandals, can they be stolen?
They can be stolen, but some defibrillators are, in fact, encased in an enclosure which has anti-theft devices, but the majority of them aren't. But the real issue is, as you indicate, is that a lot of them, when they're pulled, so-called, to try and shock sufferer from cardiac arrest, they don't work because the batteries are flat, the circuitry is faulty, or the electrodes don't work.
Tell me this just on a private matter, I'm sorry, but you had 2 young children which you had to then look after on your own. How have they gone? I suppose they're all very bright and out doing their dad, are they?
Absolutely, that wouldn't be very difficult.
Stop it.
Yes, one's doing a postdoc at the Millennium Institute at Westmead, part of Sydney University, and my other son, the older of the 2, is doing his 3rd degree at ANU. So, yes, they're doing very well.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Doc, thank you for the work that you do. It's quite remarkable, and we give this a bit of a plug all the time, but businesses and everybody out there need to smarten up. I think it is Shocktober. We'll keep telling people about it, and good luck with you and the girls.
Thank you very much.
And your boy. Sorry, it's a boy. Yeah, I got all that wrong. There you are. That's Dr. Donald Dingstag. And I will talk to Megan after the news, but I'll just have a word with her right now. So, Megan, we'll talk to you after the news, but it's not Megan's, that's another name. But your daughter was 24 when her life was saved by public defibrillator.
Good morning, Alan. Yes, she was.
Amazing. On the Sydney Rail network.
Yes, she was sitting on a train waiting to leave the station at Central Station.
There you are. Well, now listen, you can continue to stay with us, or don't hang up, or we'll come back to you. And I'll just talk to you after the news about all of this, because it's a very, very important issue. So do you mind that, Megan?
Not at all.
Thank you so much. Now, there's a website, Shoctober, shoctober.org.au, shoctober.org.au. Very important for businesses, schools and everybody.
This news from Malo Clinic Sydney. Book your private consultation today.
Macquarie National News at 8:30. Good morning, I'm Natalie Peters. On the last day of Shoctober, we're being urged to think about cardiac arrest survival. Over the month, workplaces have been urged to check they have defibrillator awareness programs in place. The Cardiac Arrest Survival Foundation's Dr. Donald Dingstag has told Macquarie Radio defibrillators save lives.
Call-out times for ambulances are far longer than the 10-minute window that a person who suffers a cardiac arrest has to be defibrillated.
A disabled man has undergone surgery after being bashed at Hebersham. A T-light.
You're listening to Australia's #1 broadcaster, Alan Jones, right across Australia.
Yes, and it's 19 minutes to 9, 19 to 8 in Brisbane. We'll be broadcasting from the track tomorrow morning, watching the sun come up and the Melbourne Cup in front of us. But before that, this is very important. I just mentioned before the news, Defibrillator Awareness Month. The defibrillator is a machine that can shock a heart back into a normal rhythm in the event of a sudden cardiac arrest. And sudden cardiac arrest, as I said to you, is the leading cause of unexpected death in Western society. It can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. Now, early defibrillation is the only chance for victims of sudden cardiac arrest. And the aim of Shoctober is to get more workplaces to install these machines. All the instructions are there as to how to use them. But you do need to get people trained to use them, but it's very, very simple. There is a particular focus this year on schools with the aim of teaching 1 million students how to save lives. Now, there's a website, Shoctober, shoctober.org.au, shoctober.org.au. Now, a cardiac arrest is treatable if defibrillation is done in time, but research shows about 3/4 of sudden cardiac arrests happen away from hospitals. So the survival rate without the defibrillator is only 6%, and an ambulance may arrive too late. Yet even an untrained passerby, given access to an automated external defibrillator, might be able to save a life. Now, Megan's not her name, but Megan knows about this. Her daughter was 24 years of age when her life was saved by a public defibrillator on the Sydney Rail network. She's on the line. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Alan.
Just tell us what happened, would you?
Yes, she was waiting on a train at Central Station when she just suddenly collapsed out of the blue. No pre-warning. She doesn't remember anything. She just simply slumped in her seat. And thanks to a couple of public that were saw the event or saw her slump over.
They were just fellow commuters.
Fellow commuters just reacted immediately and started giving her CPR. And within minutes, one of the defibrillators arrived, which essentially saved her life.
Amazing. Did your daughter have any history of heart disease?
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. It was totally out of the blue.
24?
Every parent's worst nightmare. It was just terrible.
And now, is she okay?
She's fine. She's really, really well. She's back at work full time. She does now have a subcutaneous implanted device, or implanted defibrillator, which means that she's now protected, should it happen to her again out of the blue. But as you know, there's thousands of us walking around that could come to it at any second. Yeah?
Yes, I know. I mean, you know, you don't think about it. It is frightening, isn't it? And particularly since, as you can say, in the instance of your daughter, the life can be saved. I mean, this is the second story I've heard about City Rail. I mean, they obviously are well trained to know where the defibrillators are and how to use them.
Absolutely, and apparently I was speaking recently to someone at the launch of Shoctober. Their aim is to get, I think, a defibrillator within 2 minutes of any person that's at Central Station would be within 2 minutes of a defibrillator should something happen, which would
Fantastic.
be brilliant.
Fantastic. I mean, I just repeat to our listeners, Megan's daughter was 24. She just finished work. She'd caught a train from Central to Penrith to visit a friend. The next thing she remembered was waking up that night in the intensive care unit at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. Fellow commuters started performing CPR, but then a Sydney Trains employee used a defibrillator. It's a good story. Gee whiz. You count your blessings, don't you?
Absolutely. Every day we do now, Alan, every day.
Lovely. Lovely to talk to you, Megan. Thank you for sharing that experience.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Not at all. And we spoke also to Dr. Donald Dingstag, who lost his wife at 33 years of age from sudden cardiac arrest. So there you are. And the aim of Shoctober month, this is Shoctober month, is to try and get a greater awareness of this, teach 1 million students how to save lives, and get more workplaces to install such machines, to get more people trained to use them. Early defibrillation is the only chance for victims of sudden cardiac arrest. Check the website, Shoctober, SHOCTOBER.org.au.